I heart Bren Weaver. Can we get a shirt with that on it? Because I need to buy that damn shirt. The second I finished it, I contemplated restarting it right then and there. One thing about this book, they love to burn a witch. Scared the shit out of me. I was terrified. I was very scared. It's that time of the month again where we have to talk about all the books I read in the previous month. And yes, I am late again on this. I'm always late on this because I don't know. Let's talk about what happened this month, what I read, the vibes. I read 8 books this month, a little slower than in the past, but I think that's because I've just had a really busy month. I had midterms in October, and then now in December, coming up on December, we have exams. So there's a lot of things going on, and it kind of hinders my ability to really put the time into reading. I don't think I rated many things below a 3-star, and I think I rated a lot of things above a 3.5, which is pretty good for me. I feel like I've been slumping in terms of ratings. I have been rating books a little lower, and I think it's because I'm in a sort of reading slump right now. We're just going to start with the books because, like, what am I even talking about at this point? The first book I read in the month of October was Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru. Let me just say, first of all, the cover is stunning, and because the cover is stunning, I went in with an expectation that the book would also be stunning. I've heard a lot of people online talk about this and really love it, and I'm not saying that I didn't love it. I am saying that I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't love it. That didn't really make sense, but when do I ever make sense? The entire time I was just kind of bored. It did not reinvent the wheel, and that is okay. I'm not mad that it didn't reinvent the wheel because a lot of things aren't going to reinvent the wheel. Every idea has been done before to some extent. I'm not expecting every romance book that I go into to be completely different from one another because that's just not really a realistic expectation to have. It felt very juvenile, and I went in thinking that this was YA. I don't remember this very much. I think there was smut in this, very light on the smut. I don't think it was YA. I went in thinking it was YA, and yet it still felt juvenile in the writing, in the character development, in the plot development, in the complexity of the world. I felt we as the reader were told a lot when we could have just assumed things. Sometimes I think fantasy authors give you too much information, and I think that that may be the case here, or they assume that we can't make connections, so they spell it out a little too deeply. For me, I was like, well, you didn't need to really say that. It was kind of implied. One aspect that I really did enjoy about this was the inspiration from Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. I was introduced to Greek mythology, like most young children, through Percy Jackson, and goddamn, I love that book. And it teaches you about Greek mythology in a very digestible way, which I appreciate. Since then, I've gone on to read a lot of books that incorporate Greek mythological aspects, and I really enjoy that, and I really enjoyed it with this book as well. I would give you a plot summary, however, I kind of forget what happened completely, but I know I rated it 3 stars. Bunny by Mona Awad, 4 stars. Could have been 5. I don't know why it wasn't. I rate based on vibes. The vibe was 4. I don't even know really what happened in this book, but I loved it. It was so mindfucky. That actually isn't a real word. I was getting whiplash as I was reading, like this thing would happen and then this thing would happen, and I'm like, what's real? What's fake? Scared the shit out of me. I was terrified. I was very scared. I still think about this book today, which is a huge feat for me because normally I read a book, I think about it for like 20 minutes, and then I put it down, and then I never think about it again. So me still thinking back on this book and reflecting, thinking that thing reminds me of Bunny by Mona Awad, that's a big thing for me. Maybe it should be 5, but I didn't get the 5-star feelings. It had everything to be a 5, it just wasn't. I did have to go on Reddit after, and I did have to look up what the ending was because this entire book was a mind fuck, but the ending was a mind period. It was insane and also made complete sense. And also didn't make complete sense because I had to go on Reddit. Buckle your seatbelt when you open this first page because holy shit, you're in for a wild ride. The Familiar by Lee Bardugo, I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. I think the vibes were just immaculate. This was set, I want to say the Spanish Inquisition, and that is wrong 100%. It's set in Spain at some period in time that isn't present, definitely the past. Couldn't tell you a year though. I don't know a ton about Spanish history. That is a gap in my knowledge. This book had a ton of religious undertones, and I ate them up. I love 2 things I love: cults in books and religion in books. And when they're put together, religious cults, oh my god, you have me hooked. So I love the religious undertones in this. One thing about this book, they love to burn a witch. I was very engaged throughout the whole thing. I really enjoy in books when they dive into the saint versus the witch, and I didn't know that I liked this in books until I read this book. One thing about burning a witch in multiple different contexts, what makes a witch is such a thin line, because in this book we had people that were highly revered by the church do one action and then are completely switched by the church and then are now deemed witches. It was very different to all the other books I've read by Leigh Bardugo. If you're looking for something similar to Six of Crows, this is not the book for you to go into. It's fun and fantastical, but it's also thought-provoking. Next, complete vibe switch. Leave Me Behind by K.M. Morinova. A spice scene a day keeps the doctor away, let me tell you. I was eating up this first half. The first half of the book was really good, done very well. I was attached to the characters, I was in the relationship, I was excited to see where the plot was going, and then the end happened and I got a little bit more detached because it kind of went off the rails and I wasn't expecting it, but not in a good way. I just wasn't expecting for that to be a way that the story was progressed, and why was it done that way? I feel like it could have been done differently and it would have been fine. I was doing Legos while I listened to this audiobook, and the contradiction of having a really innocent and wholesome activity while listening to this book on audio was kind of ironic and funny. I would recommend. It was so short and fast and fun. It was exactly what I needed to break up my reading month, and I would definitely recommend. It's not going to be for everyone, very spicy. Look up the trigger warnings, but it was really fun for me. There's two tied for the best book of the month. The next one is one of the ones that is tied, and there was a theme between those two books, and I think it was just the mood I was in, and that's what we're going to say about it. This one will be no surprise to anyone. Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This book, oh my god, I was giggling, I was kicking my feet, I didn't want to put this down. All I wanted to do while I was reading this is read this. Addicted, spelled out with periods between each letter. I would almost say it's better than the first one for me. The MMC was delicious. The way he yearned for our main character, even though people were saying that it was insta-lovey, I completely disagree. They maybe did the thing before Misery and Low did in the other book, but I think there was just so much more pining and yearning, and it's a miscommunication trope slightly. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about a miscommunication trope. I think y'all always upplay the fact that there's miscommunication and you're like, just talk to each other, just talk to each other. Have you ever met anyone in real life who is conflict avoidant? Because there are misunderstandings up the wazoo, miscommunications up the wazoo. People like to think it's straightforward. It's not as straightforward as you think. So get over the miscommunication trope, because I guarantee you've done it. I guarantee you've done it. A little bit of miscommunication, get over it. Read this damn book, okay? I wanted to reread this book the second I finished it. The second I finished it, I contemplated restarting it right then and there. I kind of wish I did, but I didn't, so I'm here now. I love Ali Hazelwood. Do I have to say anything else? I would read anything she wrote me. I would read a hate letter from Ali Hazelwood, and I would probably cry tears of joy. Favorite author, I think, ever. So good. And I can't tell you the plot because it picks up from where Bride left off, so I don't want to give anything away in Bride, because do read that too. That was like one of my favorite reads of last year. Next, we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I read this at the perfect time. The vibe check equals passed. I really had no complaints. Again, this book didn't reinvent the wheel. I wasn't expecting it to reinvent the wheel, and I was okay with it just being okay. I read this book for the vibes, and the vibes were checked. The vibes were checked. The check of the vibe check was passed. Everything was perfect. It didn't do anything special, but I was connected enough to the romance. I thought it worked well enough to where I didn't care if I was obsessed with their characters. I was like, yes, this makes sense, and I'm totally fine with it. I got this special edition from my small local bookstore. It's called Quail Ridge. One of my favorite places to go ever. I could spend literally a year in there. We've got the inside and then the cover. It's beautiful golden embossed pumpkins all over the book. I ended up rating this a 3.5. Wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing, but it was just exactly what I needed. Taurus season. I heart Bryn Weaver. Can we get a shirt with that on it? Because I need to buy that damn shirt. I heart Bryn Weaver. Another one of my favorite authors ever. I was a little bit worried about reading more of her books after I didn't like the second two books in the Butcher and Blackbird trilogy, but I loved this. 4 stars from me. The ending, Bryn, let me talk to you for a second, okay? Diabolical. I need the next book right now. If you're not done with it, like, please. Okay, actually take your time. I want it to be good. Like, take your time, queen. I trust you, but I need it. It was diabolical. You left me like I'm panting, drooling. I need the next one. I would do anything for you. Do you need someone to make you coffee while you work? Like, I will be your assistant for free. I will do this for free because I want you to get this book done. Always read Bryn Weaver's trigger warnings, because if you don't need them, they're a good hoot. It's a hoot. It's a laugh. She's hilarious. So cute. I'm in love with the couple. I need the next book now, please. That was diabolical, Bren. That was diabolical. I need you to pay for my therapy bill, please. The last book I read, and we're ending with a banger, The Things We Water by Mariana Zapata. This has been a long time coming, and that was not a reference to Taylor Swift on purpose. I rated this a 4.5. I ordered this way back when it came out, and it took forever. I pre-ordered it. It took forever to ship. It didn't even arrive. It didn't even arrive to me until this month. And I at one point had messaged Mariana Zapata's team and been like, hey guys, you actually haven't updated me with anything. Like, I don't even know if my package has shipped. I don't know if it was actually accepted. And then they emailed back and they were like, yeah, sorry, it'll come. And then I never got a shipping confirmation, and it just showed up at my parents' house one day. So it made it to me. That's all that really mattered. I was honestly quite surprised on how much I love this. This is another werewolf book. It gives kind of Halloween Town a little bit because there are a bunch of mystical creatures. The premise of the world is every mystical creature that has ever been written about in history is actually real, and they all live in secret in our regular world. This book was so cozy. It honestly gave small town romance with magical beings just happened to be also there. And like, why was it peak literature? The constant messaging and themes throughout that were like, I don't want to say they were pushed into your face because I do think they were done well, but you definitely caught onto them. And then when I was going back to look at all my reviews today, I saw the title and I was like, oh my god, I get why that's the title now. Even if you are not one to like a fantasy and you just like romance, I think this is the perfect thing for you because it's really not all that fantastical. You don't have to understand a lot of things because we're set in our modern day present world, but there is that fantastical element of like the people that we're following just so happen to be not human. I do think that this is going to be a series from what I kind of assume at the end of this book, and I really can't wait for the next one. Also, this copy is signed by Mariana Zapata because of the pre-order that I did, and thank God. I love this book to death, and it is so gorgeous. Like, all of the sprayed edges, so cute. Maybe one of my favorite books of the year. Thank you so much for listening to me yap. Go check out my Etsy shop whenever you get a chance if you would like to. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. I don't really have anything else to say. I love you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.